Hi, it's Stardust Legacy, and welcome back to Elder Scrolls Online for the Star Wars The Old Republic player. This is part of a group of videos that I'm making designed to help the new MMO player or the player who's coming from a game like SWTOR into ESO if you want to add it to your gameplay rotation. So right now I'm in my character view. You'll see over on the right hand side, you've got my character information, including my resource pools. Magicka health and stamina are your resources in this game. And you customize how much you're adding to each by adding attributes and by mixing, matching your armor to achieve the pools that you're looking to build. More on that later. On the left-hand side, you've got something that's new to this system, the leveling rewards. This just came out with the latest sort of game update, and it gives you incentives for leveling, including things like armor and jewelry and pets and even a mount. So this is kind of cool, and that's in addition to the skill points that you always have gotten from leveling and your attribute points that you can put in and to customize your character as you go along. So let's just take a look at the user interface sort of just across the top here. You've got your level and your progress bar. This next section just shows that I'm a subscriber and how many of the crowns I have. Crowns are the ESO equivalent to cartel coins. The first icon here is your crown store. And this is like the cartel market. You can buy armor and you can buy houses and furnishings and all sorts of things here in the market. One thing I should mention is that unlike SWTOR, when you buy something with cash or through this crown store here, you cannot turn it into in-game currency by turning around and selling it on the auction house. You also can't buy it for somebody else. Once you purchase it, it's just for your account, and there's no way to sell it. So just be aware of that. It's just going to be on your account, or what we would think of from SWTOR land as your legacy. Next item over is your crown crates, which is basically the same thing as cartel market packs, gambling with chances to get certain items. And they have different rotating ones that come through every so often. Back up to our top menu here, we have inventory. This, of course, is your, wait for it, inventory. Something nice in this game is that it breaks it down. You're looking on the right-hand side of the screen here by the type of item it is, so you can easily find the item that you're looking for. I don't have anything right now because this is a brand new character. Your crafting mats, if you subscribe, go into this ESO Plus bag, which is your crafting bag, and this has all of your mats from your whole account. So you can see I have quite a few in here that were collected on other characters. This is a bottomless bag, and that way you can collect crafting mats out in the world and not have them take up inventory. That is the subscriber perk. All right, back up, actually over here on the left-hand side, this is your equipped, like what I would normally think of as my character sheet. It shows all the armor that your character has equipped, as well as their weapons, and then all your resource pools and so forth. Okay, moving back up to the top of the heads-up display. The next item over is the character sheet. That's what we were looking at when we first started. The next item is your skills. So your skills, and the hotkey for this is K, are where you're actually going to put in the skills as you train and move along in the game. Everybody starts off with 3 class skill lines, and you can mix and match these. It's quite customizable. So there'll be skills for DPS, some skills that you can make for tanking or for healing, and any class can play any role, as I mentioned in a previous video. As you progress through the game, you'll also open up other skill lines like your weapon skill lines, as well as guild and racial skill lines and crafting and so forth. So there'll be a lot of things over here that you can put points into. You'll have ultimate abilities, which are like heroic abilities, as well as active abilities and passives. This is a good time to just briefly point out that this is your hotbar down here at the bottom. And you'll notice that there are only 5 regular slots and an R, or an ultimate slot. This is like your heroic slot. when you're starting out, you only get 5 skills. So no matter how many do you train, you can only have 5 active at a time. And that's something that's obviously quite a bit different from Star Wars: The Old Republic. When you hit level 15, you'll be able to change your weapons in combat using this toggle button, and then you'll be able to put in 5 skills here. So it's a very different gameplay style. And we'll get into that a little bit more when we talk about that in the next short video. But for now, let's move on to the left-hand side of this page. And I just wanted to point out this Skills Advisor. This also came out with that update that brought in the level up reward system. And this is actually a way in-game to see recommended skill builds depending on which type of character you want to play. This is totally 100% optional. You don't have to use it. As I say, it didn't even exist in the game until a month or so ago, a month or two ago. So you go in here and you select maybe the type of build you are interested in playing, and then based on that, it will give you suggestions for, as you're leveling up, what's the next skill it suggests that you take. And you don't have to do it. Like I said, it's 100% optional. But it's kind of a neat thing, especially if you're just learning. It might save you having to respec your skills so many times because you realize that you took something that wasn't that helpful for you. That being said, as I've mentioned, and you'll hear me continue to mention, this game is infinitely customizable. You can have any hybrid on the spectrum that you want, so don't feel that you need to play it or put your skills in a certain way. Okay, so that's skills. So the next item over, we'll just go over really briefly. It's the champion system. Champion points are achieved they're sort of like command rank that you get in SWTOR, only there's a whole bunch of skills that you can actually train up within this. And again, just for customization and just all the different things that you can do and put points into. It's incredible how customized it can get. Now I've opened this up. I've opened this up by having a max level character who's been gaining champion points, and then that becomes available to all the future characters in my legacy, or all the characters in my legacy then have those champion points available. But you won't have this when you very first start out. Okay, so that's the champion system. Your journal is where you're going to find your quest log. So this would be like the equivalent of your mission log, or L, in your SWTOR game. This is going to have all of your missions. I only have the one, but you'll eventually have all sorts of missions here. The next tab over is your lore library. There are lots of books, lots of lore in this game, and certain books give you lore unlocks here in your library, and then you can go back and refer to them and read them in your library. The next item over is achievements. There is a robust achievement system. There aren't a lot of titles in the game. There are some, but you'll find these here, as well as achievements that unlock things like dyes that you can dye your armor with. And then the last tab here is the leaderboards for PvP. Going back up here to the top, the next item over is your collections. Collections are where things go that some of them are drops in the game. They can be like rare drops off of bosses, or they can be like random world drops. They can also be things that you buy in the Crown store, things such as costumes and different cosmetic things, your houses, your pets, your mounts, everything like that goes into collections, and then all your characters can use them, and there's no unlock fee associated with that. For example, I have some costumes unlocked here, and you can see the ones that I have unlocked are colorful. The ones I don't have unlocked yet are gray. They're always adding new things like this to the game. So this is just what's available right now, or since I've been playing. So for example, I can set this costume as active. This just is a cosmetic over my armor, and I just got that right from my collections menu, and I can toggle it on and off right from that menu. In addition to collectibles, you have your DLC, which is unlocked to you if you're a subscriber. As long as you're a sub, you have all the DLC. Otherwise, you can purchase it individually. your housing and outfit styles. This is going to be the topic of a whole another video because there's far too much to talk about in this quick overview with that. This is your M for map. This brings up your large world map. And if you right click on it, it zooms out. Left clicking on it zooms it in. And you might have noticed that I have a mini map in the corner, in the top right hand corner of my screen. That was part of an advanced UI add-on. There's no mini map in the game. Instead, there's just there's the main map, and then there, if you see at the top of my screen, there's a compass style map that points you to your quests. Might look familiar if you've played games like Mass Effect, which utilize this system. For me, I just find it easier to use a mini map, so I downloaded that add-on. Okay, next item after the map is your group panel, or P for party. This is where you're going to select your role for group activities, join groups, go into your dungeons, PvP. These are both types of PvP, and your trials, which are operations that you'll get later in the game. The dungeon is equivalent to a flashpoint. They're 4-person groups. There's a little bit more to it than that, but that's the basics. So that is how you do that. Next one over on the top is your friends list. On your friends list, you can click on a person. Let's just pick somebody here. And you can visit their primary residence. So you can send them mail. You can make little notes on them. So it's you can also travel. If you're grouped with somebody, you can travel to player using this menu. Just a quick mention there. This is your guilds panel, or G. You can be into up to 5. You can be in up to 5 guilds in this game. I'm in 5 at the moment. And you'll be able to go, you can toggle through them and see their message of the day, their information. You can see who's online at any given time, see the, the roster and various other guild functions here. This is the next heads-up display item is your Alliance War. This is for PvP. We're not going to get into this in this video. And then you also have your mail system for your in-game mail. Mail is account-wide, so I have a ton of mail now because this is for my whole account. And these are things that I have on my main character is getting, and they're sort of piling up here. I haven't been in game checking my mail regularly. And your notifications menu will show you things like updated messages of the day, social notifications, and so forth. The last bit here is your help menu. This is actually fairly robust in terms of having a good overview for how to do things in the game. And to be honest, I never really looked at this until I was just checking and making sure I knew what all the icons were so I could do this little video. I found this menu, and it's actually really good. You've got all of your general gameplay and combat sort of tips and little tutorials on it, as well as all your intros sort of to all of your crafting skills. And we'll definitely be talking about crafting and doing an overview on that in a future video because it's one of my favorite parts of this game. You can also send messages to customer support just like how you would in SWTOR. And then for all of those of you who like emotes, there are lots of emotes built into the game, but it's hard to figure out what they are unless you know that this little guy is right here under your help menu, and this is your emotes menu. And this will show you all of the different ones that are available in the game. And then you would just, there's no real quick way to do it other than to type it into your chat window. And oops, I guess it won't play it for me now because I'm in this screen, but here, let's do it here. So you just type them in like you would in SWTOR / and yeah. Anyway, there are lots of different emotes, and some of them are silly and some of them are cool, just like SWTOR. So in the next section, we'll talk about the movement in this game and camera controls, which are a bit different than SWTOR, and just go over some gameplay basics and how to get started on questing. Thanks. See you in the next video.